for another trip. This time I'm only going to focus really on the Supercharger locations. And so right now you can see I'm about to make a 800-mile trip. And planned stops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planned stops for 800 miles. Seems like a lot. The plan would be to skip that one right there, which is Chattanooga, and so I think what I'm going to do is spend more time in Knoxville and charge higher, because the Chattanooga charger happens to be in at an airport, at Chattanooga Airport. Not easy in and out, so I'm not going to use it. So I know that I'll have to spend more time. I'll show you a little bit more about the Supercharger locations, where they are, what they're like, etc. So get ready. We're going to start tomorrow morning at an extremely early time. We have about 218 miles, as you could see. The first time difference with this trip is I'll probably be using the heat for a good chunk of it early on. So let's see how that affects our normal mileage. So here we go. Here we go. It's just around 4 a.m. 3:59 to be exact. It's 59 degrees, and I am heading to London, Kentucky. Will be my first stop. Just a bit of an update for you. I am about 32 miles from the exit I'm going to take. A couple of things here. This is about the worst watt hours per mile that I've had at 298. Never had anything like that, but I've never taken a trip in the cooler weather. It's 47 outside, and I'm assuming felt like maybe the heat had come on for a while. As you can see, it's the highway is pretty empty. So the other thing is, I was supposed to have 45% when I arrived, and now it is saying 42. So it's been coming down. So it's a little bit different than I'm used to. So we'll see what happens. We are in London, Kentucky. So first things first, let's go ahead and charge. So here we go. First thing to notice, there are 0 lines here for parking. There's 6 chargers, 6 stalls. How did we do? We have driven 76 miles. We used 22 kilowatt hours, 289 watt hours per mile. Which is a lot for us, and we were supposed to get here with 43%, and it shows 44. So let's see if we're charging. This is my third time here. You can see maybe because I still had 44%, but we're charging at 55 kilowatts. I think this is a 150 kilowatt stall. Just 15 minutes remaining in order to get us over the mountain to Knoxville. So that's good. There's a McDonald's right there. I don't believe it's open yet. It's 20 after 5 in the morning. There's a welcome center over there that you can't see, but straight ahead behind the garbage there, garbage dumpster, is a local welcome center. There's a Cheddar's over there. Obviously that's not open. And straight ahead in front of that McDonald's is a Marathon gas station. The other thing is, not beyond the Cheddar's sign is the interstate. So the location here is awesome. You just get off and it's 500 feet to a right turn. Next stop will be Knoxville, Tennessee. We have arrived in Knoxville, Tennessee. and battery low. You could see that I arrived with 22 miles left. It does say battery low. I was supposed to arrive with about 15%, and I actually arrived with 10%. And because I drove the speed limit, so it can only have been maybe that the heat was on. So first things first, there's 8 stalls here. They're 150 kilowatt stalls. We'll open it up and get it started already. And you could see we're in a shopping center. Nice shopping center. Number of stores over here, you know, for walking around. There's a Target. On the right there is Starbucks, where I'll be heading in a few moments, and a few more places. It's about 1.5 miles off of the interstate, off of I-75. Simple drive off the interstate. Well, we started at about 85 kilowatts. At this point now, we're at about 130, as you could see. For a real short period of time, it got almost to 150. And again, I'm going to stay longer than that because my plan is to go a much further distance. So let's see how long we're here. I have ordered, so I'm on the way to pick up at Starbucks. I have reconsidered, and I think I will go to Chattanooga. It's not my preference, but at least I could show you this particular stop in Chattanooga at the airport. And it looks like it'll be too difficult today to make it to Ackworth, unlike I was able to make it last time. And so right now, if you look at how we're doing, because of the diminishing returns, now down to 60 kilowatts, it hardly makes sense to spend a lot of time here. So I'm going to go ahead and head out and move to Chattanooga. Few statistics from London, Kentucky to Knoxville, Tennessee, 110 miles, just under 2 hours, 263 watt hours per mile, which is actually pretty good. And so far on this trip, we've done 186 miles, and we're averaging 273. So all in all, that's an improvement over how we started. So let's see if we can keep that going as we depart Knoxville. We are about 35 miles from our exit to Chattanooga. As you can see, it looks like it's going to be a nice day. It's still cool at 42 degrees. I will tell you that the signs on the road, the update for that, and also the turns, the Navigate on Autopilot, have been working flawlessly. So congratulations, Tesla, and for the software. It has been just great. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. As you can see, I'm approaching this truck, and right now it's suggesting I make pass, and that's what we're doing. Going well. We are in Chattanooga. Battery low, as you can see. I have 37 miles left, so we're just beginning to charge here. And how did we do? We just went 90 miles, 269 watt hours per mile, so kind of okay, not terrible. Looks like we're not going to charge great here. We'll charge all right. And why don't I like Chattanooga? You have to go into the airport terminal. The place is packed. The road is under construction. It's just a tough place to be. It's a little over 2 miles off of the interstate. And you have to have a parking ticket to get into the parking lot. Alright, getting ready to leave Chattanooga. Looks like we have plenty to get to Ackworth, which is about 90 miles away. And I don't know if this is calculated yet, but anyway, it looks like I have about 12%, which is just plenty. So there's the runway straight ahead. We are at Ackworth, Georgia, and just started to charge. And a couple things here. First of all, let's see how we've done since our last chart. So we just came 85 miles from Chattanooga and 260 watt hours per mile, which is good. And so far we've come 362 miles, so we're actually not quite halfway yet, though we're getting there. This is a nice little shopping center. There's a Publix straight ahead over there, which is where I'm going to head in a moment. Looks like there's a restaurant over here, and I can't quite tell what it is. Publix, CVS Pharmacy, there's a Domino's Pizza, and a few other minor things. There's a Sonic over there also. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like we have 12 stalls here. So we have plenty of space. And right now, as you can see, we are at 130-ish kilowatts. So it won't be too bad. Almost time to head out. As you can see, we're heading to Macon, then Tifton, and then Lake City. So we have 3 more stops to go. That Model 3, the white Model 3 just passed. We're at Chattanooga with me. And we have another couple of cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 and 5 just left. So we just had 5 here. Anyway, we're getting ready now to head to Macon, Georgia, and we're pretty much ready to go. We have, according to this, 5 minutes left, but I'm not going to wait. All I could say is wow and terrible. From Ackworth, Georgia to Macon, Georgia, it was like a parking lot on a Sunday afternoon on Interstate 75. So I am going to do a reroute over to I-95 across the state. How did we do just now? Well, you can see how slow we went. 211 watt hours per mile for the last 108 miles. That's obviously very low. So I'm going to go ahead and make some changes. Instead of heading south to Tifton. And let's see, this is a very slow chart. Well, not bad, not bad. So let's see what happens. I'm going to do a reroute. We are heading to Metter, Georgia, cutting across Interstate 16 from Macon. So instead of going down I-75 to Lake City, Florida, we're going to cut across I-16 to just south of Savannah, and then take I-95. So we're going to find out soon if this is any better. Looks like I have about 15 minutes left here, and it is rather slow. Metter, by the way, are 250 kilowatt chargers. This location here in Macon is a little bit of a shopping center, as you can see over here. There's a bunch of stuff: pizza, Dollar Tree, Publix, so Planet Fitness, so quite a few places there. And then I don't think I can get it, but there is a Panera right over there. And where we are here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like 8 stalls. We have arrived in Metter, Georgia. These are 250 kilowatt version 3 chargers here. Looks like there's 8 of them, and they're in 2 sections, so it's kind of interesting. You have one section like this here, then there's a brick wall, and on the other side is another, I can't tell if it's how many, I'll have to go count. Anyway, how are we doing? We're just ramping up here to charge. We're down to 46 miles. And how did we do? We just went 108 miles, 28 kilowatt hours, 256 watt hours per mile. So we did just fine. And in total, we've now gone 579 miles, and we're down to about 256. So after starting this morning, we were doing much better. So very pleased. And I'm glad I took I-16 instead of I-75. There was zero traffic. Next stop is going to be Brunswick, Georgia. And it looks like I need to be here about 25 minutes. I changed stalls to see if I can get something a little bit quicker. You could see I'm only getting 76 kilowatts, and of course I'm about I'm over 50%. So I had expected a little bit of problem. This is kind of an interesting place. If you look over there, you kind of see the chargers, and on the other side it says no electric car parking. So we just have this little area here to park, and it's actually difficult. I'm not sure if this is because it's the version 3 chargers, but normally I get everything in 5-minute increments for charging, and I notice here I'm getting it by minute. The next charger we are going to is in Brunswick, Georgia, and that particular charger is also 250 kilowatt. So I'm just going to get the minimum here and get out. We are in Brunswick, Georgia. There are 24 stalls here at this location, and there's a bowling alley there in front of it. There's a courtyard, I don't know if you could see it, by Marriott up there, and a gas station over there. So there's really, the courtyard and the Hilton are really the closest things to it. Anyway, we are, these are 250 kilowatt version 3s. I arrived with about 17%, which was a lot more than I was supposed to. So right now it's saying I'm going to have 25 minutes here in order to get to my destination. So let's see. On that, so far we've driven almost 700 miles, and we're averaging 255 kilowatt hours per mile. And the last leg we just did was 115 miles and 249 watt hours per mile. So there's our status so far. There's the interstate. So this particular Brunswick, Georgia is pretty nice in that it's right off the interstate, just 2 right turns if you're heading south, and left and a right if you're heading north. Our trip has ended, and we did 819 miles using 206 kilowatt hours and average 251 watt hours per mile. So all in all, a fairly successful trip. I spent approximately 20 minutes at each charger location, some a little bit less, none more, so really between 15 and 20 minutes. So I think that was successful also. Well, even though the trip is done, I thought I'd show you this. I'm currently charging at a version 1 Supercharger in St. Augustine, Florida. Kind of an interesting location. By the way, high usage Supercharger station. It is always filled when I get here. Number one. Number two, the instructions on the driving on the map, the navigation is incorrect. So that's all I could tell you, is that the chargers are actually way different than the directions give you. It's between the 2 sections of the outlet mall that this is in. Of course, this is going to be pretty slow. The other thing I will tell you, though, is the view. It's kind of neat. You have this, you're right off of the interstate, so there's some positives, but come on, Tesla, you really need to update this particular high usage station. The end.